I've got fresh carrots, which is really nice to see, right? You don't always get to see them nice and intact like this with the greens attached. The greens are actually edible. Maybe if you are feeling a little bit like you want to try something new, then you can make something like a carrot top pesto or add these to your tomato sauce. If not, you can always save the greens, and if you're making a chicken stock or vegetable stock, you can add them in there as well. They have sort of a kind of a carroty flavor, almost like an anisey flavor as well, a little bit. But whenever you're faced with a root vegetable that does have the greens attached to it, I would recommend separating the greens from the root vegetable, because they'll usually last for different time periods in your refrigerator. The greens won't last as long as the carrots will. Also, when the greens are still attached to the root vegetable, they're going to suck just a little bit of water, a little bit of moisture away from that root vegetable. You don't want that to happen, right? You want the water to stay in here. So if I were to get carrots like this, I would definitely take the rubber band off, like I mentioned earlier. Go on and separate the greens from the carrots. And then you can store these separately in a plastic bag if you like. Give them a scrub if you need to, or you can go on and give them a peel. With organic vegetables, it's really up to you if you want to scrub, if you want to peel them or not. Sometimes it depends on what you're doing with them. I'm going to go on and give these a little bit of a wash though, because they're still kind of sandy. And then one thing I like to do with carrots that really makes it more likely that they're going to get eaten in my house is go on and just make carrot sticks. That way I can eat the sticks raw, I can use them with dip, or I can go on and cut them down even further later if I'm gonna go on and make a stew or a soup or something like that. So there are probably lots of ways to do carrot sticks. Not necessarily the expert on this, but what I like to do whenever I'm cutting something that's round is go on and create a flat edge, because that's going to give me a lot more control on the cutting board instead of having something going spinning all over the place. So I just cut off a little bit. You can make that be a very thin carrot stick. Now I have a nice flat surface. So what I'll do here, keeping my fingers out of the way, is about 1/3 of the way across on each side, go on and cut down the carrot. And then depending on how I feel about how big that carrot is, then I've got some nice carrot sticks. I can stick those in my lunch, my husband's lunch, or like I said, cut them down further as I need them. I'm creating a greater likelihood that I'm going to use those vegetables later on in the week. Another way that you can, of course, do your carrots too, go on and cut them into chunks, just like you would for a soup. If you have some celery or some onion, you can go on and cut this on up with your carrots, and you've got a great base for a soup or a sauce. You can go on and store them ready to go in measurements that you might need for later on in the week. I like to use mason jars because I know that the lid is going to stay on. It's really easy to find the right lid that matches. You don't have to go searching through the cabinets. Plus you can see exactly what's in this container. Another thing that you could do with carrot sticks, if you don't feel like just eating them raw, if you were to cut enough to fill this mason jar, you could do a really quick pickle with just a little bit of salt, vinegar, maybe some spices that you like dill or garlic clove or allspice berries, and they will last about a week or two in your refrigerator, and you don't have to do any canning, right? You're basically just doing a longer marinade for your carrots. So that's something that I like to do with crunchy vegetables like carrots or with these snap peas.